Hello, this is my step 5 of my recall in the source language. Hello, my name is Punta Misha, and today I am going to do a presentation on creativity, design, education, and technology. Before we get started, I wanted to do just a little brief introduction about myself and who I am. My name is Punta Misha. I have my MA. Um, I was really interested in technology growing up, and most importantly, working on the Mac and getting more involved with the Mac company. I'm also really fascinated with the brain, how learning works, how technology works, and how that technology influences learning. I also wanted to talk about where I'm from, which is India. I was born in India, and then I went to high school, and then in New Delhi, and then I started to get more interested in design in India, and then afterwards I decided to move to America in Minnesota, and that is where I had my two children. Once I got my degree in design, I fell in love and had my two kids there. My kids are now, one is in college and one is a sophomore in high school. I do miss India a lot. I am homesick, but it's interesting because when I'm in the United States touring around and talking and presenting, I often say that I miss Minnesota, which is my home. It's kind of crazy that my kids are going to be graduating and that my kid has already graduated high school and he's off with his diploma, and now my daughter is about to be graduating with her diploma. And it kind of puts me in the mindset of like they have their diploma and that they are going to go off in like into the world and do whatever they want with that, and that I have really no capability of changing their direction or like making a direction for them, but rather trusting that they are doing what they need to do. The other thing that I wanted to talk about was the 21st century technology and how that has shaped our society today and learning today, and how technology in the 1990s and the technology in the 80s and the 70s and how that shaped that generation and that culture to today. I actually did a Google search on the 21st century and I found 23 million hits. And all of this had to go in saying that there's a lot of different ways that we can think about the 21st century in technology and how that influences our education and our learning process today. We now want to look at not only the technology, but the millennial generation and how technology has influenced that generation. We can now look back in that we see that technology will still shape and define a culture even 100 years later after the technology was established and created and published and pushed out. An example of this could be from 1901 to 1912, the invention of the crayons. Even my children today, they still or not today, but like growing up, they still played with crayons, and that was 100 years after the fact. So that kind of goes in stating of like when something is published or something is technology related, pushed out or invented, that people will still be using it even 100 years after the fact. The same thing kind of goes inside with the Wright brothers and how they were able to create an airplane, and how the airplane was just like this really big invention, and how like still today like we're still making them, and we're still making them better, we're making them faster, we're making them stronger. That idea, that creativity was able to really be pushed out, and we still use a lot of the same things that they invented, we just kind of like expanded off of them. I now want to go into technology, with wrapping up that idea, like technology, even in the past, technology in today, it's still going to affect like our technology in the future and how we learn in the future, and how technology really is a big like indicator of just like overall change with like different cultures and generations, but that technology keeps our learning, and that technology keeps it like technology is a very big part of our education, very big part of our learning. And I think that for me, being a researcher, it's fascinating to see how technology has influenced our learning. It definitely has, and we definitely see that, but like how, and researching that is really fascinating. Another thing that I wanted to go into, when we talk about Google, we talk about the 23 million hits, and we talk about how there is 15 different frames and mind frames, and with that, and there's three specific ones that I wanted to touch base on in relation to how Google had these 23 million hits of framework. Um, so the three is one is how we push out our learning. The second one is how we act on it, and the three is our values within our technology, our learning, and our process. Overall, the world, like we are still learning and we're still processing. Just recently, last year, we published something in relation to that, and we got a lot of great reviews and stuff like that. And so that really, obviously, was really spectacular and made me happy. And that is all. Thank you.